Okay, we're ready?
Oh, yeah.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. This is awesome.
Do you work from home or do you set your own hours?
I kind of do. So I'm a financial advisor and the investment firm is up in Geneva.
Okay.
And, you know, I love Aurora so much that I like to spend as much time as I can down here.
Yeah.
And my mentor actually is very involved in downtown.
Oh, cool.
And so he's kind of helped me get even more involved. And now I'm in Rotary and have some different things going on. So
the Aurora Rotary?
The Aurora Rotary. The Aurora Rotary.
I know.
Yes.
Why do all their chapters have the?
We're just that official, you know?
Because there's the Naperville Rotary too, but then there's two of them. There's like a downtown Naperville Rotary and...
There are four now.
In Naperville?
In Naperville, yeah.
Oh my
and it's kind of cool. We're trying to do that with Rotary now that I've gotten more involved with it. And we're trying to do that for Aurora. So as we evolve, you know, you have kind of the older generation, very old school, meet at noon. And you have the Sunrise Club. So it's a little bit younger age group. And then what they want to do, or what we're trying to do right now, is kind of grow out a younger professional group.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Is that going to work in conjunction with the Chamber Young Professional? Or are they two separate?
Two separate things. So this would be a Rotary thing. So it would be like the Rotary's like younger person Rotary Club.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and more of a satellite club group of the Aurora Rotary Noon Club.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I don't know why. I saw something the other day that was promoting the Aurora Rotary. And it just dawned on me that we even had one here.
Yeah, and it's,
Yeah, I have a client in Naperville, and so I'm there a lot, and they host Rotary meetings, so I guess I'm always just like...
Maison Sabika?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Very nice. I love that place.
Everyone loves that place.
Yeah.
It's so nice to do marketing for a place that everybody loves.
Well, and the history, too. I mean, like, I had no idea. Like, first of all, the staff is so nice. We've been going there more because my wife is an intern within the District 204, and they have a 40% discount with them. So we've been
a nice perk.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say that though.
Oh yeah, that's
that's
wide
fine.
known.
Okay,
yeah. It's like it's such a point of contention though with other school districts because everyone is jealous that Naperville gets the discount.
And it's such a nice place, and it's everything. It's alcohol, it's food, it's you name
ambiance.
Oh my gosh.
That patio in the summertime is amazing. Like even as staff, when we go and sit on the patio, like we hang out there for too long.
They like transport you to this like different place. You don't feel like you're in Illinois anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing that they've been doing that for 30 years. Like,
is that how long they've been around? Wow.
Since 1990.
And they technically rent the building. I just learned this from the family still.
Yes.
And they had to... The Polifkas?
Polifkas.
And they had to build that second separate building for the event center, the pavilion, because of the historical significance of the house.
Yeah, well, so they started doing events, and they would just put a tent, like, in the front this is before my time there, but for weddings, they would put, like, a giant tent up, and so it'd be, like, an outdoor wedding venue type of thing.
Okay.
And the demand grew... And so then they added on the pavilion because they actually needed a wedding space. Like the demand grew such that they needed that too. And we do have weddings inside, but they're smaller. So you can't have like a 300-person wedding in the mansion, of course. But so you have the option to rent. Like if you have an event there, the options are endless. Like you could rent the first floor, you could rent the second floor, you could do it in the pavilion, you could rent an individual room, you could do the patio. Like it's crazy.
It's kind of cool. They're kind of like the roundhouse of Naperville.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that the other day too. It's like, because with Two Brothers in the roundhouse now, are they managing their events department?
Yes.
So because I feel like I just never hear about Two Brothers events, but I know I've been to weddings there.
Yeah. And they have, so that's where our Rotary meets.
Oh,
is
really?
at Two Brothers. So that's the Noon Rotary group. And we've been around, we're the longest one. So we're the ones who've been around since 1924.
What?
And
in Aurora?
Yeah, in Aurora.
I feel like I have to join Rotary now.
You do. It's a vehicle for good.
Yeah.
It is the coolest thing. Seriously. Like I was trying to, and what's neat, and I think this is very telling relative to other service organizations. Nothing against those groups that are doing a lot of really good things, but what I love about Rotary is the people who start there maybe as professionals in the community. They could be realtors, business owners, whatever it is. Even after they retire, they continue to go to meetings. They continue to stay active, and they go on and do a lot of really cool things. And Rotary's like this. I think of it as like a war chest for good.
Yeah.
So like they've got like all this money that they've raised.
Right.
And, it's there. If you have something that you are really passionate about and want to help people with, they, they're there to help you make that happen.
Yeah, and I feel like part of that is because their reach extends so far because of the people they attract. So like everyone has such great networks on their own.
Yeah.
And then you put them all together in a room and it's like endless what you could do.
And it's definitely going through a renaissance. So that's where I think we are trying right now. We're going to be having an event, and I'll definitely have to share it with you because you are invited.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, for younger people who are just... They don't have to be interested in Rotary, but want to meet other young people, kind of like young professionals, and like the Young Professionals group. But this is a one-time event kind of promoting Rotary and what Rotary can do for people.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, especially younger people.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little more. We're both from Aurora. This is crazy.
Yeah. Grew up a couple blocks apart.
We did.
Yeah.
Do your parents still live there?
So my mom actually lives out in Pressbury.
Okay.
And
that's where Marshall's mom lives.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a good
street
place.
Does she live on?
She lives on Dorchester.
I don't know.
So it's right off of Winthrop New.
Oh, well, I know that street.
So you're on that side.
The party house. Yes.
The party house.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the houses back there were party houses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've heard stories.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah. It does when you drive through. It's got that like 80s 16 candles, like Bill and Ted's, or no, what's that, Weird Science, where they have like the big, I feel like we're in that neighborhood.
There's a house that's exactly like Wayne's house from Wayne's World. It's nuts.
Really?
It's on Winthrop now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because
sort of cool. How it cuts through all the way?
Yeah.
Past the pool.
Past the pool?
Yeah, but going towards 47.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sort of, yeah. And when we first moved there, I was like, is that the...
Well,
Canada.
But that being said, they still did shoot some scenes.
Yeah. It
Down.
was like 5 minutes worth of...
I know. It's like the whole hockey
yeah.
scene. I always felt when we played street hockey growing up. It was like LeGrand was always like my picture. LeGrand and Downer were always like in my mind the Wayne's World streets.
LeGrand is such a pretty street. There's so many pretty houses over there.
It
So many
is
parties.
very classic.
So many parties on LeGrand. Oh, yeah.
That's where John Hanker lived. So.
Let's just call out every single high school party house right now.
This is Back to the Future,
Yeah.
I feel like, edition of your podcast. Yeah.
But it's so weird. So when did your mom move?
So she moved back in 2005 out to Pressbury. But before that, she lived over in Stillwater. Wow. So in like Turnstone, I think is what they call it. And then that was in 2000. Before that, we lived for like 9 years over off of Randall. So I love Aurora.
Yeah, I love Aurora too. So you went to Marmion?
Went to Marmion. Went to Holy Angels, Marmion.
Wow, so we probably know a lot of the same people.
Yes, I would be surprised.
Okay, so some of my very best friends went to Holy Angels. So there's like Katie Murphy and Laura Saltagerald and Brianna Aviles. And there's a lot of...
Saltagerald, definitely. Aviles, I forget.
She was, at that time, the youngest in her family. And she's my age, so there were none after her.
Okay.
But there were 5 before her. So,
wow,
yeah.
big family.
Big family. Oh, wait, not 5 before her. That's a lie. Never mind.
That tends to happen. Still, that tends to happen
There's
lot in the
6 of
Catholic
them
Church.
now, but
You have,
2 of
you know, a
them.
lot of, yeah.
Big families.
A lot of big families.
And the
So,
Saltageros and the Powells. And
Okay.
yeah.
Very cool.
Because that's like, Holy Angels is in my backyard. Like, I went to Lincoln Park all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
few blocks
Marcelet
away.
and, Fordham, would it be, is that the last street before you get to, does it like dead end? Is that where Marcelet dead ends?
Marcelet dead ends into Lincoln Park. And
Right,
that's
I forget.
Elmwood, I think.
That's one block.
Oh, wait. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not.
So there's that one last street, but I forget the name
What
of
is
it.
that?
I don't
Russell?
know. Yes, it is Russell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good memory.
And then
So you're
come
back one more.
A few more. Because then it's Russell, Elmwood, Ingleside, Fordham.
Oh.
So my street dead ends
Ingleside.
into Prisco's.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
So I
Very
could just
cool.
walk there. Wow. So
Yeah.
what'd you do after Marmion then?
So I went to college. I went to a couple different places.
A couple
But I did. I kind of jumped around a little bit. So it was a circuitous path. But I initially went off to Miami of Ohio
Oh,
and
yeah.
was there for about a year. Then I came back and ended up going to Waubonsee.
Why did you come back?
I came back for a number of reasons. I think initially it was because I remember being in a class with a number of my friends were in-state students. So it is a state school.
Yeah.
And I just remember realizing there was a professor who broke down like by the minute how much you were paying for each class.
Oh my gosh.
And I just remember being like taken aback. I forget, it was some ridiculous number. And I remember like, wow, like why am I doing that? And I had a Spanish teacher who was from China. Nothing against Spanish teachers from China, but she spoke Spanish as her third language, English as her second, and obviously Chinese as her first, or Mandarin. And I remember like being really disappointed because I'm paying X amount for this class, and I'm from Aurora, where at least 50% of the population is Latino, Hispanic, and I could be going to Waubonsee, and I know for a fact that I could be getting an amazing Spanish education. So I wasn't like hell-bent on studying Spanish, but I just remember it put it into perspective. And so I came home and went to Waubonsee. And,
that's like very responsible of you.
It was one of the reasons.
Yeah. Because I was not paying attention to how much college cost.
Well, where did you go to school?
I went to U of I.
Oh, cool.
In Champaign.
Okay, but you were in state. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's different.
It is different.
But I still, like, one of my sisters, so I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay.
And one brother and one sister decided to go to Waubonsee first and then go on. And then me and my other sister both chose to go straight into 4-year schools. And I feel like there's really no difference in the outcome at the end of the day. And I hated U of I the first year.
Really?
I was applying to transfer out, and then I was looking at Waubonsee. I was looking at Columbia in Chicago.
Okay.
And like my roommate didn't come back after Thanksgiving freshman year, and then like one by one my friends just started dropping out or leaving, and I wasn't prepared for that because you go and you make your initial friend group and you're like, this is great, and then everyone left. And when I got back sophomore year, none of my original friends but one was there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And so what helped you stay? Like what was it that got you through that hard time?
I think at Columbia, the issue was like nothing from freshman year at U of I would have transferred because Columbia has their own curriculum. Okay. So it's not often that they allow transfer ins. So, or I mean like that your courses will count.
Was it marketing? You knew you wanted to study marketing?
Yeah. So I was in the College of Business at U of I, and I got in. I was just telling this story yesterday. So I didn't want to go to U of I, and my mom wanted me to apply there. So I was being defiant, like, well, fine, I'll apply to the College of Business because I won't get in, and then I won't have to go. And then I got in, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I guess we're going to U of I now. It was either that or Wisconsin.
Oh.
And I didn't really want to go to Wisconsin.
Oh man, but Madison's a great town.
I know, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And it came down to those two.
Okay.
And then I just chose U of I, probably for in-state tuition. And 3 hours Madison is not that far, right?
It's about the same.
Yeah, it's
or
about the
Madison's
same
like 2.5.
Yeah. So I ended up going to Champaign, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess we're doing it. Like, I don't know.
Well, see, and I love the way that your family was kind of split.
Yeah.
Right? So you had, because you said you had 3 other siblings,
Mm-hmm.
2 of which went to Waubonsee, and then the 2 of you went away. And I think, so my mom used to work at Waubonsee, and she was there for like
cool.
16 years, and she was a guidance counselor.
Nice.
And I would hear these stories of these really unique people who would come in, and they'd start talking about what classes they were going to take, and they would have a background, like they could be a refugee, they could be
Cool.
they could be just like a guy who just got out of the service and he's looking to figure out what he wants to do, and he wants to transfer to U of I or whatever it is. And I would hear these stories from her, and I just remember thinking, and she'd always speak so highly of them. And, she would talk about how they were working and going to school, and they were real go-getters. And, I just remember really kind of holding that in high regard. And so I never thought I would ever go to Waubonsee. But then when I came back, and I jumped in with 2 feet, and I just loved it. Like, I wish it was a 4-year school, because I definitely would have graduated 4 years there.
And I just think you need a little more time to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, to go straight. Yeah. And for me, it wasn't an option to go to U of I and then, like, transfer in. Like, I knew if I was going to go there, I had to be where I wanted to be right away.
Okay.
And a lot of people go, like, for, what's it called, like, general admission, kind of, and then they transfer into their college of choice.
Right.
And I didn't. I just knew I wouldn't pay attention. Like, I have to have a goal in sight. And so I'm like, okay, marketing, we're going to do it. And the reason I chose marketing was because I think I did a marketing club in high school.
Oh.
I did. It was called DECA.
That's cool you guys even had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
Mrs. Larkin was, she's probably retired now. Yeah, I'm sure I think she retired after us. But anyway, like, I did this business club, and I did really well because I wanted to be a fashion designer forever, for like the entirety of high school and even middle school, because I can sew really well.
Well, and might I add, you're very fashionable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I tried.
But you actually sewed?
Yeah.
Like, you were using a sewing machine?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I still have my grandma's antique sewing machine now.
Oh my gosh.
So
was it a Singer?
Hers is, well, she upgraded to a Singer, and I got her, like,
okay.
Yeah.
You got the hand-me-down.
The hand-me-down.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's cool. Well, first, did you know that there's a guy in Aurora that fixes sewing machines?
No.
He is over on, over behind Ace Hardware.
Okay.
On Lake Street.
Oh my god.
There's like that weird little strip mall back there.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but he only fixes sewing machines and vacuum cleaners.
Oh my
God. It's amazing. And
that
he's
is so
like,
cool.
He's busy. He's so busy. So I took my grandma's sewing machine there. I'm like, I don't know if you can fix this. I hope so. And he did.
How old is he? Is he like a younger guy, or?
He's probably like in his 40s or 50s,
Okay.
probably 50s. I don't know if he inherited that or, but
that is so cool.
Yeah. And on the last podcast, we were talking about that too, because Aurora.
Okay.
And Jenny has lived in Aurora for a while, but like, the importance of knowing your niche, like in marketing, it's so important to know that. And he says no, to other things, which I'm sure he could fix, like a record player I'd taken there before, some other odd things.
Yeah.
And he will only fix vacuum cleaners and sewing machines. And he's so busy.
Yeah.
And people like donate the old ones to him, and they like swap out. I don't know. He's got his own little community going on back there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that too. Just know your niche and be confident in it and stick to it.
Right.
And I mean, just even in that whole sense of even turning away other business, because I would also, I've also talked to other entrepreneurs who it was like they just took on more projects, right? And it helped grow their business now, and they would learn as they went, but it all still applied to their strict focus, right? It was still in the realm of what they set out to do. And recently I kind of started to narrow in on a niche for me. Yeah, so it's kind of cool that you I don't mean to get off topic.
No, let's talk about that. That's interesting.
So I actually finance is so huge that you could go so many different directions with it. And somebody says finance, and it can mean a number of different things,
Right.
right? So I'm a financial advisor with a private wealth management group.
Okay.
So we manage people's money.
Yeah.
And some of those clients are companies who have 401k plans.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I had a chance, and we don't do a lot of that, but we do some.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an opportunity to go and visit one of our clients, and they had a manufacturing facility.
Cool.
And it got me so excited.
Yeah.
And so I
What
started-
excited it? Like the scope of the project?
the scope of it, the story of the business, the employees who you got to talk to,
Yeah.
who were just in this particular scene. It was a mixture of blue collar and white collar workers and people from every, walk of life. And they
I dropped the phone.
and it just excited me. And I could and I was sitting there listening to this individual talk, who was from the advising, like 401k advising company. So we were the advisor of record, or they call it a broker of record.
Okay.
And then you have like John Hancock, for example,
Okay,
is
yeah.
somebody who would be like the 401k advisor. And then you might have a third party administrator who does like the background compliance work.
Oh.
Okay. So it's and that can be overwhelming to a lot of people.
And those are all external parties, none within their
Right. None within the company.
Their company. Okay.
And so here we come in, and there are a couple different names being thrown around, and they're being told to do, X, Y, and Z, and this is really personal stuff. And so I'm sitting there listening to this woman from the 401k administrator, and she was great. I mean, she knew her stuff and was very nice, but there was just this glazed look in everybody's eyes.
Oh,
And I just remember like, oh my God, like
it's terrible.
this can be so much better.
Yeah.
This is such an opportunity to help people, given that the 401k is like the only way people have to save, to the point where, it was a pension replacement, right? It was
Wow.
supposed to really, it was supposed to really supplement the majority of one's retirement, especially with Social Security going the way it's going. So bottom line is, I got really excited about it and started to look at opportunities for how I could really kind of focus on this. And it's kind of become my niche over the last month. And, it's because I'm still fairly early on in my, financial advising career. And so it's kind of taken some time to
and
find
it should. I think.
Yeah, so that you really feel confident in it.
Yeah, I think that's important. And I think, because within any industry, you can do a number of different things. So being able to narrow it down, and then you become an expert, and that's when people trust you.
Right.
And it builds trust. And that's not to say you couldn't also have like personal clients, people with their personal funds versus like larger companies. But like your focus and who you're speaking to would be these people. Right.
And then the cool thing is that once those individuals retire, then they have to go somewhere with their money. And so so especially as a young person, early on in their career, it's a really good opportunity to quickly get in and be in front of a lot of different people and be exposed to a lot of different things and scenarios. And then as people retire, build up your individual client list with those retiring individuals.
Absolutely. I had another financial advisor on here, and she retired from a career in HR in corporate America.
Oh, cool.
And then in her second career became a financial advisor. And
Awesome.
she basically is getting people that are retiring out of corporate America because she had such great connections before. So that's how, she had a foundation for her business based on her connections. And then she just went to them and was like, here's what I'm doing now. And they already trusted her. They already knew her.
And here's my story, right? And
now,
also from the HR side of things.
Right.
You get to see that from start to finish.
Exactly. And she understands customer service and blah, blah, blah. So this is her. It's interesting that their retirement funds are fueling her retirement career.
Yeah.
And
a little irony.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. I think.
Yeah.
So what should we be doing? Okay, so I feel like as an entrepreneur, it's hard to, you're responsible for everything. I don't have a company who's giving me benefits or 401k or XYZ.
Yeah.
So we should set one up, right? But what other advice do you have?
Yeah, so from a completely, personal opinion of what somebody would do.
Right.
In that instance, I think number one is, we have so many tools at our disposal to just get a good picture of where we are, right? So, what do our savings look like?
Right.
What does our debt look like? And just kind of keeping tabs on everything. And so whether it's Mint or personal capital or any one of these different tools, I think that's step one, is just kind of get the lay of the land.
Like awareness.
Awareness of what your situation is.
Oh no, that sounds scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to know. I had Mint for a while, and then it always, I guess when my bank account updates, then I have to go in and update it, so I just let it disconnect.
Well, and when your bank account updates, or when you get a payment, it's a little easier to go and look at your account as opposed to going on a spending spree and having to look at it.
Okay, and then what about the importance of
investing?
Well, investing, but before that, student loan debt. So should, in your personal opinion, do you think that it's, because a lot of student loan debt is long term.
Right.
So is it worth it to, if you have extra funds, obviously savings are important.
Right.
But then outside of that, should you be paying off your student loan debt?
Absolutely.
And instead of investing, or should you be splitting it?
I think, it is a balancing act, and it depends on your other costs, right? So what is your living situation? Are you living at home and putting, say, your minimum payment for your student loans is $300 a month? You're making, $3,000 a month, and you want to throw in an extra $500 towards your student loan. Now you have, a significant portion left over that you're not using to pay down your student debt, and you have an option or an opportunity to maybe put a little bit away. And I think that's a personal call, because regardless, it's good to put something away. I would even say start with Acorns. Acorns is such a cool little tool that, and it's an app that you just individually you can start to with everything that you buy, you just put a little bit away.
They round up, right?
And they round up for every transaction you have.
Is it? But there's a fee associated with Acorns, right? On a monthly basis.
Depends on how old you are.
Oh.
So if you are a certain age, and I don't work for Acorns, but it is a cool tool
out there, so it's good to have help figuring out.
Yeah.
Because I looked at that, and then someone at work was like, well, I did too, but it wasn't worth the fee that they were charging.
So that's, again, it is good to be aware of fees. And fees are everywhere. I think that's the biggest thing that I've found is that even if it, even Robinhood's a new investment platform where you don't have to pay any commission fees for trading, right? It's completely free. That being said, they still have to make money. Right. And so there are other ways for doing other things on their platform that they get paid. And so I think it's really important to be kind of leery of those low cost investment platforms. But Acorns is really cool because for younger people, they waive the fee. And depending on what there are different stipulations, but I know that there are certain incentives for young people with student debt to just be putting a little bit away at a time. So that's kind of cool. And even if it's just a Vanguard account and you throw $100 a month in, every little bit will count.
Yeah. And that's what, it's so hard, every little bit. I just want to pay off everything at once. So I hate when I'm just giving a little bit here and there, but I know that that's the right thing to do.
And I think to your point about paying off the student debt, that definitely should be your priority.
Really?
I think get that
out
done.
Of the way.
Get it out of the way, because you just get it off the balance sheet, and then everything else will grow exponentially. But if you can put a little bit away, it's good.
My mom's gonna listen to this, and she's gonna call me and yell at me. So what had happened was, when I got out of college, I had a Fortune 500 job when I graduated.
Okay.
I worked for Avon Corporate for a while.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was cool, but I hated that job. I cried every day because it was sales, and I didn't. The reason I cried every day is because So, Avon, everyone knows Avon,
Yeah.
and their
Avon
mom
lady
probably sold it or whatever, yeah. But I was managing, like, in charge of 300 of them.
Okay.
On the south side of Chicago. So it's broken into districts. So like my district was on the south side of Chicago. And most of these women had been selling Avon, like especially the top performers, longer than I had been alive. And so when I came in to take over, the woman before
Who are
me,
you?
Yeah. They were not nice about it. And I was a college new hire, and they provided like 2 weeks of off-site training where word got around quickly that I was the youngest manager in the training, and I was the youngest manager at the time, like in the company that they had hired. And so then that was weird. It's like weird when people are always throwing your age in your face. Yeah. Because you're, as a new hire, like insecure already. Yeah. And then, well, maybe I wasn't, and that was the problem. And then, anyway, by the end of it, I was. I would like call my manager, my poor manager. I think I pushed him to an early retirement, but I would call him every day, and I'd be like, I don't know what the hell these ladies want from me. Like, they're being so mean, and this job is terrible. And anyway, the point is, I was living at home, and I was making a very nice starter salary, and I had a company car that I had to pay nothing for. Like, I didn't pay benefits, I didn't pay insurance, I didn't pay gas. It's a great deal. Yeah, you could drive that thing anywhere. I went to Kentucky one time, and it was fine. Like, I don't know, I just had a gas card. Yeah. And then you would just, like, write in your expenses. Wow. And so, because we were driving a lot, I mean, I basically lived out of my car.
Oh, yeah, that was your office.
Yeah, that was my office. And that's what I hated about it. But my mom harped on me for months and was like, start paying your student loans, because they don't kick in until like 6 months later, and
12 months, right? You have like a whole year or something.
Yeah, you've got some time.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. I think it might be 6 months. Yeah.
I don't know how long it was, but I had enough time. Like, I had a job, I wasn't paying rent, I was just going out in Chicago and like racking up some expensive bar tabs, because at the time none of my friends, like, none of them had gotten their big girl job yet. I don't think. Everyone was still job searching. So I was like, oh, I have mine. Like, sure, I'll take care of it. Yeah. Meanwhile, my student loans are over here, and my mom is, like, beside herself.
But see, you know what? And I say this actually about people who are late to things. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
I was going to say that, like, I think that's what I really enjoy about what I do, because you're my people. Seriously, like, I am not like a straight A financial student by any means. I mean, I still have student loans. So I'm living it, Yeah. So it's one of those things where I've been there. I know how hard it is, and it's so personal. Yeah. And so to be able to just kind of non-judgmentally, look at everything and just say, okay, well, you know what? That was then. And what's the next positive step? What can I do? Geez. And that's, you can't resent your younger self for what you...
Maybe, do you think that, well, what's the youngest client? Like, have there ever been parents that have brought you in?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey,
their
talk
kids.
To you, my child.
Yeah.
Because I think if my mom had done that back then, I would have listened to that person. I just wasn't going to listen to my mom. Like, that's very defiant.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I mean, we all are at that age.
Yeah, and moms, and finances are like a weird...
Yeah. Well, and my mom was she is a yoga teacher. And like, she would take me, a yoga teacher. Wow. She would take me to like all her yoga stuff, like from the time I was like in grade school.
Really?
And we would go to like teacher trainings and like different things and all this stuff, and I loved it. And I'm still to this day a huge fan of yoga. I don't practice as much as I should. I hope she's not listening.
But do you do yoga at all?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. That's so cool. Not as much as I should. Yeah. But I just remember going, like, there was a certain point where I was going to her yoga classes, or I would get invited to go. And at a certain point, it was just like, man, I listen to my mom all the time. The last thing I'm going to do is go to a yoga class and
listen to your mom.
Tell me what to do.
Right.
And so I would just take it. I'd be so tired. I would just take my mat and I'd go to the corner and I would just sleep. So I feel a little bad about it, but But I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I think that's just how it is with parents. But I love talking to kids about it, because especially, like, I have younger brothers who are still in college, and yeah, it's so powerful. I mean, just the law of compound interest is, Einstein said it was like the sixth wonder of the eighth wonder of the world, not the sixth, but the eighth wonder of the world. And it just is so powerful. I mean, when you do, and I can share this with you later, it's basically this table of, okay, if I invest, X amount every day right now, even if it's $10, 30 years from now, it could be 300,000 or whatever it is. And if somebody were to start doing that and contribute 10 times what I'm contributing, 5 years from now, they would still have a really hard time catching up to me. Yeah. Just because that 5 years is just makes that much of a difference. So
it does, and I think that's where I struggle with my finances. Is like, I'm not a very patient person, and so then I'm like, well, okay, but I know that I should be doing those, and I do. I have a savings account that I can't touch online. Okay, and then I have my student loans I'm trying to pay off, and then I was living. So after college, I got my Avon job, and then right before, so I had 1 foot out of the house. And then I got laid off. And I was like 24, 23 and going through a layoff. And so I just didn't expect that. That was crazy. Yeah. And then, but I got a severance package, which was great, but I lost my car. So I wasn't paying, I didn't have a car payment. I didn't have gas or insurance or anything for like 18 months. And then then I had to buy a car.
And that's a big one-time expense. Yeah. I mean, and you don't realize how much the tax and licensing and registration and
oh my gosh,
insurance and all that stuff costs.
Right. And I didn't want like some shitty car, like I wanted
a badass car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh geez. And then
So what kind of car do you drive?
Oh well, it's like a hoopty now. It's really falling apart. Okay. I shouldn't have bought the cool car. That's a lesson, kids. And it's not even a cool car. It's a Honda Civic, but it's a coupe and it's black and it has a sunroof.
Oh, Civic's great. Yeah. That's an awesome car.
Oh, it's great. It's taken me all over the country. Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of miles on it now, like 130 or something. I've literally been all over the country in it. So it was great at the time, but the paint is chipping off. It's like a mess. For a while this summer, my weather stripping on my windshield was just blowing in the wind. Oh. Yeah. But it didn't leak, so it wasn't like an immediate concern. But my dad was like, my dad was like, will you please go get this fixed? So I did. The first time it snowed, I took it to get fixed.
Good.
But anyway, so I bought a car, and then I got a job shortly after being laid off. So I had this 3-month severance package, and then I had full-time income,
on top of
my severance,
Your severance, yeah.
Which helped me buy the car, and then provided me a nice nest egg, which I promptly then spent when I moved to Virginia on a whim. Oh. So yeah, that was. I guess I'm a poor financial manager. And I'm admitting this for the whole world.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Yeah. Yeah, because it set me up in a nice way, and then I was like, no, I can't do. I was just temping, and so I was living with my mom, and then I was contracting at her job at an hourly rate, which was great, and it was full time with benefits. Yeah. But I didn't have a car for a while, so I was living with my mom, riding to work with my mom, and then she took a lateral move into my department. So then I was working for my mom. And I was like,
wow. Yeah. Talk about motivation to start your own business. Right. Yeah.
Well, but then I went to Virginia for 4 years. So
For 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't a little stint. You were there for a while.
Yeah, and I didn't plan to be. My best friend lived in Virginia Beach at the time, and I'd gone there on vacation, and she was like, you should move here. We're kicking our roommate out. Like, we have an extra room. Why not? And yeah, that's basically, at that time, I didn't have a full-time job here. I wasn't paying rent here. I didn't even have a car. Right. So, I think by then I had just gotten my car. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I move to the beach?
Yeah, and I've heard, first of all, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a
and I've driven through Virginia.
Oh,
and it's just, God, it's so cool.
Virginia.
Like Charleston.
Ooh, that's it.
Or is it Charleston or
Charleston, South Carolina.
But what's where the
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
of. Yeah,
that's a cool place.
Oh my God.
Lots of breweries and distilleries there.
Yeah.
Beautiful mountains.
Very, very cool. And then we went to Monticello. And you just got so much history.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really cool place.
It is.
So you liked it?
I loved it.
Okay.
And we lived a mile from the ocean front.
Oh my gosh.
So, and we did that. So there were 6 months left on the lease when I got there. And they had gotten me, like, rigged up a job for me.
Okay.
It's like, I went from making, like, $50,000 a year to $10 an hour. And that's exactly
so
what
it's a 50% pay cut almost.
Yeah. But this job was, I could see the ocean from my front door of the job. I could ride my bike to work. Like, it was just different. And my rent was so cheap where we were living. So it worked out. And then that job lasted like 6 months and kind of went downhill in a bad way.
Okay.
All the relationships are fine now, but...
But it was a process.
Yeah. There's a lot of crying. And then, then, like, I was going to leave. And I told everyone, I'm going to leave. I'm out of money. Like, I'm just going to take my car and go back home. And then I got a job in a retirement community. And that was the first time. So it's a one-of-one retirement community. And they have over 700 residents there. And they're full continuum of care. So they have independent living. Like, your buy-in to the community is the purchase of your home.
Okay.
And the sales pitch at the time was that your heirs could sell the home and recoup the investment.
Oh.
But then, like, when the market crashed, the retirement community took a long time to bounce back from that. So then homes were sitting on the market for a very long time.
Wow.
And so there's a monthly service fee attached to that you're responsible for as long as you're the owner. So whether or not anyone is living in there.
So needless to say, it was a struggling business?
No, it was flourishing, but that part of it, which is actually what I did, I was their listing real estate agent.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so, and like / marketing assistant. And so.
Talk about like a whirlwind of just kind of like I don't want to say trial by fire, but like baptism by fire, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So they hired me. They'd never had anyone in that role before.
Yeah.
And then the marketing director really wanted someone more for marketing help. And that's what I wanted. And then they were like, and then you're going to do some sales on the side. And then what happened is it flipped. And I was doing like 100% sales because I was managing 72 properties. And then if you think.
Was that big?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Huge.
Wow.
It was a big place. 72 properties. But when you think about when a senior passes away, how many people are involved? Usually there's a will or an estate of some sort. You've got family members, not sure which ones. And then you've got attorneys, and then you've got doctors. And so, like,
talk about a 101 / 200 level course
in a whole life
estate planning.
Yes,
Jeez.
all of it. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. And that's when, like, they had great benefits there. And so that was the first thing I did. Was like, okay, I have full-time salary again. Let's dump it, because they matched at 5% to your 401k. So I was just like dumping what I could in there.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I still have that. I'm like, I rolled it over and I haven't touched it. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah, because I probably should be like contributing to it, but
is it an IRA now?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just kind of sitting there with Betterment.com.
Ooh, Betterment.
Do you use Betterment?
I'm not allowed to use Betterment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it a competitor?
It is.
Technically?
They're a robo-advisor.
Yeah. Exactly.
They do a lot of things really well, and they've got a great user experience, and I'm really, really inspired by a lot of what they're doing. So it's cool. I try to, in my own way, replicate some things for some of my clients, but it's a great company.
I think like the financial advisors, the company we worked with there, when I told them I was leaving, they basically were like, well, you don't have enough money to invest with us, so like this is your solution.
Oh.
And I was moving, so when I left that job after 4 years, then 3.5, then I decided to come back here.
Okay.
So they were like, this is online, it's easier, just do it.
And this was the investment advisor for the 401k plan that you had with
the retirement
community.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I learned a lot from that. And then just being, so when you're working in a retirement community and like trying to fathom the fact that these people are paying cash for these homes and for all of the things that happen, or like they're just rearranging their investments to get the cash out to buy this place before they sell their home of 30 years. Like, it's crazy to think about how much money and how long they've been investing.
And this is a whole, again, like you said, it's 30 years, 40 years, 50 years coming, you know, and this is all to make sure that they have a comfortable, you know, end of their life. And I mean, that's a very sensitive time. And I know there are a few other communities here. There's one in the city that I thought was really cool because it was like different floors. So it's like right off of Michigan Avenue. And if like the individual or like the independent living is like the top floor. And
Makes
then
sense.
as you have more needs, you kind of work your way down to the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just kind of a really cool transitory, transitional living.
Yeah. Basically.
So yeah, I love that.
And that's how this place was too. But it was like spread out in a sprawling community. I think technically we had 100 acres.
Wow.
And so like I got to ride a golf cart around between my office, which was in one of the homes on the property.
Okay.
And the clubhouse a lot of times, or to see like my clients or the, you know, the sellers. But it was just, it was a great
And so how did that play into you opening your marketing firm here?
So I got, they had a very big marketing budget, and the marketing director there and the general manager of the community, they were like very progressive and ahead of the curve, which is interesting because this is a retirement community.
Right.
So they were doing things with their budget that like other just regular companies were not doing, because one, they had the budget, but then two, the foresight, and they had like a really great creative team, which I was kind of a part of when I wasn't like inundated with sellers and, you know, people yelling
and
at
everything
me,
going on,
screaming. I did hang up on a seller once. He was so mean to me, but it's like a very emotional thing. And they could hear, my coworkers could hear him yelling on the phone, and I was like, well, okay. Yeah,
there's a certain point where it's just like, okay, I know he's not yelling at me,
right?
But I don't have to take this.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. That was it. But so I got to be a part of that team, which was really cool. And I'm still best friends with the marketing director there. So she and I got really, really close. And then when my time was coming to an end there, basically the marketing director had left, the sales director had left. Like, we kicked ass for 3 years in our sales and marketing department. And then it was like, okay, like this era has kind of come to a close now. I was applying for jobs, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so then I was like, well, okay, I'll just go home. Like, let's start there.
Yeah.
Let's just go home. So I gave myself a 3-month hiatus. I like timed it out. I knew that because it was coming towards that summertime in Virginia Beach, and I knew that I wouldn't miss the last summer in Virginia Beach. Like, there's no way. So I don't know what we're going to call it, but something like Wickwood University. Because she's got all these local artisans here, and they're all like budding entrepreneurs, some farther along in their process than others. And so what we're gonna do is like try to bring together a team of experts, like one in maybe like an hour a week for 4 weeks or something. But like 1 week it would be a crash course in marketing, and then finance, and then, you know, and we're gonna end. There's a life coach that has some stuff upstairs that I work with too, and so we're gonna end with that, because like that's important too, to have your personal stuff together.
Right.
So that would be awesome.
I love that day. Or I love that idea. Sorry.
Yeah. And then we were thinking we could, like, if that goes well with the artisans, then expand outside of like the Wickwood businesses, and then, you know, like.
Well, I know there are a lot of people that could definitely use that.
Yeah. I think so. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, especially from like a starting, and I know you were talking about, but we were at your last summer in Virginia.
Oh yeah. So basically I timed it so that I had 1 week to move out without working, and then I had really great friends there. So I just couch surfed with my friends.
So
and
cool.
my surrogate Virginia family, my best friend's family, let me store all my stuff in their
Oh my God.
little extra apartment.
And that was it.
That was it. And I was like the tannest, fittest, drunkest I've ever been in my life. And it was amazing. I will never be that again. So, because that's like all I did. Cheers.
I love that.
Well, okay, we're supposed to cheers.
Oh, we're supposed to cheers?
Cheersing.
Never mind.
I don't understand what's happening.
But we
now.
did actually, and I know we're going to be wrapping up, but I just, it's so cool to hear your story because mine was kind of similar in the sense that I came home, went to Waubonsee, and then left Waubonsee because I got, what did I do for a year? I was there, a job back up here, we came back up here, and then I got a job downtown at a content marketing firm.
Oh, nice.
Working on their development team.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of financial service companies that we worked with. And it just kind of lit that fire again of what I wanted to do. And my mentor was like, hey, man, come on back. Come work with me.
What?
So that's how we got to where we are.
That's
and
amazing.
Now I live in Aurora.
You live in Aurora, and you have how many kids, too?
No kids
No
yet.
kids?
No
Why
kids
did I
yet.
think you had 2 kids?
I think you just foresee it in my future.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a dad.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, so.
How long were you guys in Nashville?
For 8 months, I think we were probably there. So we really went down for the internship.
Yeah.
And then just thought we'd make a run at it. And then she got a job back up here, and so did I. So that was it.
What's it like living in Nashville? Because I've only ever visited there.
Oh, it's so much fun. And changed even in just the last few years. But it's just a blast, everybody's from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so you
transplants.
but I remember working when I was at Apple, we would have these like store meetings, and I remember like everybody was an artist, and it was so cool because you'd go in to these store meetings they had it at a campus just outside of where our store was. And so we'd meet in this room, and it was almost like a music venue, and it was like a little concert. We talked a little bit about business, and then we would just have these like open mic nights, and these guys, and it was the most inspirational thing to experience. And yeah, it just kind of it was a very inspirational place. I always loved because everybody was there to do something and make something happen. So
yeah, that's true. I always thought it was a little sad too, because how many of those people don't ever get maybe to where they want to go or beyond? I hope they get out of some of those touristy bars.
Yeah, and I think, but those are probably some of the best bars for them to be at. I mean, these people I was with were like, they were working at Apple. They were smart, really cool people. And some of them, this was their full-time thing, and they were just musicians at heart, and they loved to be around it. And they did it on their, part-time. They would do songwriting or something.
Wow.
But it was very inspirational, and you can tell it was for the love of music. It wasn't necessarily to be famous.
Which is,
that was really kind of the cool thing about it.
How did you feel about moving to the South after living in Illinois?
It was really interesting because you could tell when you met people who were because it was slower and people were, I'm not going to say nicer because that implies that we're not nice. It's just faster. We're more business oriented. And I think it was really interesting to see the difference in people get married a lot younger.
Right.
People, it's the way that the communities are developed is very religious based. So sports teams, instead of a park district, it's the church, right? So you go to the church as the community center. So it was very interesting to kind of see that cultural difference, but all really fun differences. It wasn't anything worse than what we have here, just very different. So
Yeah, it was different. Virginia's the same. And Virginia Beach is kind of like Nashville, probably a lot of transplants because of the military. So the naval presence
I forgot
there.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, between Virginia Beach and Norfolk, there's a ton of transplants.
That's right. And the Navy the Navy has a big base there?
Yeah.
And
I think the Norfolk base is the largest naval base in the world.
Oh my God.
Maybe.
I know there's that Geico commercial where he's like,
on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad that's my affiliation with Norfolk.
Yeah, but that's it. Like it's cool because I lived in Norfolk the last year I was there, and so to live and just be able to like walk by the Elizabeth River and all the ships are there, and then to drive from where I lived or to get from that part of Virginia to where my best friend's parents lived, you had to go through the tunnel, so you're like under the ocean, which is really scary for like an hour at a time. But
it's like our own American channel.
Yeah. It is, and it's when you look at it on a map, it's insane to think about it because you just drive it and don't even think about it, like whatever.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get stuck in tunnel traffic in the tunnel or no one blows a tire. Yeah, that happens.
I didn't even know we had that.
I know.
This,
there are a couple, but that's
Virginia
the longest
stuff.
one. The HRBT. Yeah, Virginia's a cool place. Everyone should visit.
Love isn't the love.
Virginia is for lovers.
Virginia is for lovers.
That's it.
I love that.
Cheers. Let's end it there. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. This is so much fun.
Yeah, it's great.
First one out of the way.